Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about, well, all about Cancer, the zodiac sign. And it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Well, first thing I want to talk about is Cancer and their personality and demeanor. As far as Cancer goes, well, Cancer can be somewhat passive and timid. They could often be very introverted people, introspective, but being passive does not necessarily mean weak. I don't think the zodiac sign Cancer is weak by any stretch. I mean, they can be shy, they're introverted, they don't always speak up maybe when they should. But Cancer can have quiet strength, I believe, and the zodiac sign Cancer can also, they could be very strong family defenders. And I mean, Cancer might be the kind which might be more passive and timid in other aspects or areas of their life. But if somebody, I mean, threatens Cancer's family member, I mean, at that point in time, you may have to be ready for a fight, because that's when it seems like that's when the militant side of Cancer that is there may come out in full force. So, but as far as Cancer goes, Cancer is also very sensitive, and especially such to ridicule, derogatory remarks, criticism, and even at times unintentional slights by others. They do have a propensity to take things perhaps a little bit more personally than they should. I mean, I have a Cancer stellium with the Mercury, the Sun, and Mars in Cancer, so obviously I would have some conception or some idea about that. What I would say, though, about Cancer is that I think that I'm not saying, I don't know if we want to say misconception, but I think what a lot of people may think, well, just because they have Cancer prominent in their horoscope, it means, okay, I'm going to have this big, prodigious family and have a number of family members and children, have all kinds of activity with them. Well, that's not always the case in every instance. I mean, it's not always the case in every person that has Cancer prominent in his or her horoscope. Because as I stated before, I have a stellium in Cancer, and my family life has basically dissipated into almost nothing right now. It's been basically obliterated for all intents and purposes. What that really means, when somebody has Cancer prominent in their chart, it could indicate there's an emphasis on a strong emphasis on home and family, but it doesn't give any guarantee or assurance you're going to have a large one or you're going to have constant activity and communication with them. It just means that really you might feel that as far as family goes, you would at least want it maybe to be more of a dominant part of your life, and it may be essential to you. You might have some significance, but it doesn't mean you're going to have that's necessarily going to figure prominently in your life scheme. It might be a strong desire, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you'll have a great constant activity and it's going to be, in family's life is going to be auspicious for you. So anyway, as far as the appearance of Cancer, well, Cancer people tend to be, as far as their stature, tends to be diminutive. Generally small, shorter to medium height. The complexion tends to be fair, pale complexion. Keep in mind that, I mean, this is a very general, basic description as far as the appearance for Cancer, and obviously if you have to factor in ethnicity. If, say, for someone's African American, a lot of this won't apply to them, of course. So anyway, Cancer also can tend to have gray eyes. The eyes can seem to be asymmetrical, more so with Cancer, I believe, than the other zodiac signs. They can be Cancer can be somewhat heavy, and even the Cancer people that are slender in build, they still could have a roundish appearance or roundish visage to them. They could even have a kind of a round look, even the ones that are kind of slender in build. And the upper body is really, it could be very prominent. It could be larger than the lower body, and even more so compared to the other zodiac signs. And the limbs can be proportionate, but they're generally tend to be short to medium in terms of, in contrast to the body itself. The features can be delicate and small for Cancer as well. The nose can have a shape of a saddle, or saddle shape is another way to put it. The face can be round or oval. And really, Cancer, as far as the hair goes, inclines more to a brownish color. I would say brown seems to be a dominant color as far as the hair for the zodiac sign Cancer. And the forehead can be rather prominent, can be really high, and receding as well. And the shoulders can be rounded. Well, anyway, the next thing, as far as Cancer goes, as far as the money with Cancer, well, Cancer, unlike Taurus, say, is not necessarily one that is so desirous of accumulating wealth. It's not necessarily an acquisitive sign, but it's a sign that may acquire possessions, so a lot of times for sentimental value. And when it comes to money, Cancer can be fundamentally cautious and prudent, and they generally are not the ones to take foolhardy or impulsive actions in regards to money. Cancers can be involved in low-risk stocks, investments, something where they feel that they're going to get a very slow, steady progress in terms of their money, and get a little bit, keep gradually saving. Real estate investments can figure prominently with Cancer. And Cancer is a type, it's not, any accumulation of money often is going to go more toward the family and in their home, their security. And really that's what Cancer is often about as far as money goes. And a number of their decisions monetarily can be intuitive, really more an intuitive hunch a lot than a lot of times logic, because Cancer is one of the more intuitive signs of the zodiac. I would say them and Pisces are likely the two most intuitive zodiac signs. Now, as far as career goes for Cancer, well, career, I mean, Cancer can do a multitude of things. They can do something connected with their intuition. It could even be something with astrology, the occult, supernatural. I think Scorpio is more connected with that, but I think Cancer can do that, be proficient in that as well. Now, also an at-home business, something connected with real estate, working out of the home renovation perhaps, and something with the healing professions, which could be a wide divergence of things. I mean, it could be like working as a doctor or a nurse, some kind of healthcare field, and one of those at-home caregivers, something with perhaps even, the electromagnetic therapy, I believe it is. Gardening, cultivating is another thing. And as far as the healing goes, again, therapy, acupuncture could be another thing as well, in sports medicine, just anything connected with healing in general. Now, as far as the health goes with Cancer, well, the health with Cancer, well, Cancer is not exactly known to have a very strong constitution. It's not a robust constitution, say, like Taurus. But Cancer, in their vitality and energy generally, is not high. I see that the water signs collectively, generally the vitality, endurance is not as strong as a lot of other signs, as the other elements, with the exception maybe Scorpio the Scorpio's energy in constitution, I believe, is stronger than Cancer or Pisces on average. Now, Cancer can have problems with the chest area, with the stomach. It could be ulcers, stomach tumors, breast cancer with women, perhaps is one. Something connected with obesity could be another one, because Cancer has a very strong retention of water, indigestion, problems with it. Cancer can be prone toward excessive worrying, and I think that could cause some problems with their stomach. And also a bloated stomach is another thing that could be very Cancerian as far as a health affliction could go. Well, also talk about love for Cancer. Well, Cancer is not ruled by Venus, but Cancer can love very strongly. I think with Cancer, they're very nurturing toward their significant other, romantic partner, what have you, and very sympathetic. They're very loyal and steadfast, much like Taurus, but Cancer can be very clinging in love. They can be very persistent as well. Cancer in love, it can be hurt very strongly through some disappointment, through some rejection, maybe more so than the other signs. And I think a lot of that is attributed to the fact that Cancer just they will vest so much into a relationship, often a lot more than the other person will. So when something fails after they expend all this energy and all this effort into it, then they're more devastated than the average person, I believe, than most other signs. Perhaps with the exception maybe Pisces, because Pisces can be very sensitive and emotional. I think Pisces emotions really can be all encompassing, actually. And Cancer too is also, they are the sign that could be very, they could get their feelings hurt very easily, and that goes without saying, I think, as far as matters of the heart. And Cancer, really, they're like Scorpio in the sense that they really can disdain superficial type relationships. They may not be as good as Scorpios detecting duplicity or subterfuge in a relationship, but they will be strongly hurt by that, more so than the average person. And they are not really about that. And anything with Cancer, they just, like in their relationships, they want to really keep it real. They don't really have the time really with others for games, and they could be sensitive, of course, to the core, and they take often a lot of their relationships, that romantic partner, they take that connection with them often very seriously. And Cancer, unfortunately, they get led astray, and they get led thinking that somebody likes them more than he or she does, and they find out later on they don't. To them, it's almost like a catastrophic to them, unfortunately. And Cancer is about, many believe Cancer is that sign of life-giving, and I believe it is. And so Cancer can really, they're more, when they want a relationship, they're more often on average than the other signs to really want children. So that is another thing with Cancer, as well, as far as their love relationships go. But the thing is, Cancer can be a very sensuous lover, but they could also have a very jealous streak as well. Maybe not as much as, say, Scorpio or Taurus, but they can be exceptionally jealous, I believe, as well. Well, anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment for all about the Cancer zodiac sign. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be talking all about Leo. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel, but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.